Have, first of all, Diva, who you know, and then Deja Vu, her buddy, right there. And we're going to talk about National Deaf Dog Awareness Month. Now, we have 2 hearing dogs down here, but this is really a concern for people who have dogs with hearing problems.
Right. You know, a lot of the breeders used to put those dogs down, and they never put them into the pet trade, and they actually make wonderful pets.
Yeah, although they come with challenges. Before we get to that, how is it that we end up with a deaf dog, whether it's congenitally, from birth, or can they get an infection? What can cause that?
Absolutely, they can get an infection, so I always encourage people to check their pet's ears, especially as they age. I hear a lot of people saying, my dog just doesn't hear right anymore. And a lot of times it could just be an infection.
Okay, so if we discover we do have a dog that's a hearing challenge, and in particular completely deaf, there's a lot of accommodations we can make to make their lives and ours better, right?
Right. For training, for example, they obviously can't hear us, so hand signals are very important. And then the use of a little laser light, which if I show Deja Vu that light,
this is good stuff down here.
You'll see how she likes to chase that. But she can actually use that as a training tool, not so much to tease them as well. Corrections, I use a squirt bottle sometimes if they're getting into trouble.
Sure.
Because they can't hear you, obviously.
Can't hear a command. And in particular, you can't call them, because if they're not looking at you, or if they're outside in another room, they don't know. So again, that's where the light can come in handy. I thought an interesting tip that I know you had was to put a bell on your dog's collar, because if they've wandered off into another room, you don't know where they are, but you can hear them dingling and you can go find them.
Right, absolutely.
Other suggestions for simplifying life for us and making their lives better?
Well, I think knowing proper hand signals and staying with that hand signal, just doing a simple gesture for each thing. For example, sit. Some people just use a scooping method, or down, just one hand signal at a time with one word. Obviously, they don't hear the sit or the down, but they do learn to read their owners, and they do make excellent pets.
Yeah, and some of the things we've talked about that I thought it was wonderful how courteous they were to the pet. One of them is to let the dog know when you're leaving the house. If they're taking a nap and you leave, they wake up and you're gone and they can't hear and they don't know what's going on.
Right.
A tag with not only the dog's name, but information on there that, the Sparky is deaf.
Right.
And so, treat them in that way. Don't be surprised that they can't hear. And also waking the dog.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
If you go to wake your pet and they can't hear you, sometimes you'll startle the pet.
Right.
And they can reach out or maybe bite or protect themselves. So go slowly, work your way up to them. Don't startle them, because they really can't hear you. But they can pick up on vibration. You can stomp your foot.
Okay.
They'll feel those movements as well.
And it would certainly be best, especially around children, to teach them, if they're sleeping dog, you don't go up near their face. You don't want to touch them there, because they can wake up.
That's even the ones that hear as well.
Yeah. Okay,
Really
great
important.
advice. Thank you. And if you have a deaf dog, hang in there. They love you just as much. They just provide an extra challenge. If you have any questions for Dr. Jill, say hello. You can find her online at drjill.com, or you can give her a call. The number's there on your screen, 916-989-0738. During Pet